How's it, guys? It's Davey FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. This stream is going to be quite interesting. We activated the bench boost yesterday. It's looking good as of now. Will there be any team news that drops before the deadline? I don't exactly think so, but at the moment, as mentioned, bench boosting, potential season-defining game week. I know someone said it in chat. I think it was Sadesh. Let's just hope that it gets us some points. But don't worry, I'll be answering all your Game Week 11 questions as well. So post them in the chat as always. You guys can see my team if you have not been watching the videos this week. I was looking to make 2 free transfers. Goikrez out as well as Strach. That has been done last night. And Saar as well as João Pedro has come in. Yes, don't click off the video. João Pedro is back in the lineup, and that's just because there's hardly any forward options that I like the look of. So I'm taking a punch here. I took him out last week. I brought him back in this week. He served his time out. Let's just hope that he gets us some FPL points. But those are the 2 moves I made. Price changes kind of forced my hand last night, but those are the moves that we were discussing throughout the week. I think even on Monday, we were potentially looking at doing these moves, and they were sort of confirmed in the team selection. And that's what we've gone with. So if you guys have missed out on them, don't worry. There are some alternatives if you guys can't afford them. There are alternatives you guys can afford more than them. I was looking at a Declan Rice, a Szoboszlai, but in the Ultimate Guide expressed my kind of view that Saar is the more exciting option. And yes, there might be some injury concerns about him at the moment, but I'm pretty happy to still play him. Has good fixtures coming up. During the international break, only 1 international with Senegal, but it's in London, so an advantage there even with his kind of travel time. And as I said, just the more exciting option, and his stats off the chart. So thanks for joining. I've seen a few people in chat. Thanks, Gaz Watson, for the kind words at the start of the stream. Hopefully it's going to be a Green Arrow weekend. Let's just hope, Gaz. Otherwise, the bench boost is going to be a little bit of a failure. But otherwise, also have Siddharth in chat saying, pants up, everyone, let's go. Well, don't worry, guys. I did drop a new emote in chat if you guys want to check it out for the TUPD crowd. We just can't do it as of now. So don't worry, guys. It is not TUPD time yet. I just wanted to showcase the new emote that we can kind of showcase hopefully later in the stream. Don't spam it now. As Gangster saying, about 1 hour before pens down. So about 52 minutes. I remember the timer now. Vincent saying, any chocolate milk? Well, as you know, Vincent, you've been watching the last few streams. There's been no chocolate milk and it's been okay. So I don't have it today. Just have a normal drink and let's just hope that the green arrows keep on flowing. How's it, Killshot? Hopefully you're doing well. Andrew also saying, how's it? I can't go Saar or Mateta. What should I do if I only get one? So between Saar and Mateta, for me, it's an easy one. It's definitely Mateta. Not only is he on penalties, but as mentioned, there's hardly any forward options at the moment. So really kind of an essential forward pick at the moment. And instead of Saar, you can get a Minter, you can go Rice, Szoboszlai. There's a few other alternatives that you can get. So the forwards are few and far between, so Andrew, I would definitely go for Mateta over Saar if you can only get one of them. Maddie R is saying, would you start Caicedo or Thiago? I think you'd probably play the fixture there. You probably go with Caicedo, but it's a tough one. I guess it depends on how well you think Newcastle are playing. They've been super kind of roller coaster. I've seen some good performances, but it seems like from their fans this entire season they haven't been playing that great. Gaz saying, I've been following One Your Mini League. Well, let's just hope that this year you can kind of rebound because we're not doing that well at the moment. But as you've mentioned, 5 years in a row is a pretty good record. So don't worry. I'm in a similar position with my mini leagues. And everyone's kind of taking the mickey out of me a little bit. Killshot, yeah, we've activated the bench boost. I think you probably would agree. The bench looks pretty decent. So just let me know if you guys don't think I should bench boost. But I think it's a pretty easy one this week. And I've done my transfers with the bench boost in mind. So I've split the funds. We can always take funds out of João Pedro when the fixtures turn, but for the time being, I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, Oct, same question there. Priyanshu saying, suggest some good replacements for Reinders, 5.5 in the bank. Else the option is to bank the transfer and play Reinders or Krippy Jr. this game week. Help. Okay, this might be a bit of a tough one because I don't think there's many sort of 5.5 midfielders that I like the look of. If you purely want that sort of bracket, I can tell you So out of that 5.5 bracket, I think that a player like an Anderson from Nottingham Forest is okay. Dewsbury Hall is there, but he's probably not as exciting, but also plays most games in an attacking position. So I think Anderson, Dewsbury Hall, that's where you want to look. I would probably say at 5.5, you're not looking for like a main starter every single week. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, but you have mentioned that you have Krippy Jr., so you might have to split some funds in and around there slightly. I'm just trying to check if there's anyone else that sort of pops out, but I think Anderson, Dewsbury Hall is probably where I would look because they play every game for you. And I think Krippy Jr.'s time is probably coming to an end in your team. So just let me know if those are kind of adequate in your opinion, Priyanshu. Tracy saying, how's it awesome to catch? 100%, Tracy, nice to see you back here. Best game week to use the wild card. It's a tough one. I would probably just say whichever game week your team doesn't look too great in. I think that you should probably try and use it sooner rather than later, just because the fact that we get 5 free transfers in game week 16. What you can do is you can almost use it as like a free it then, is you can use your 5 free transfers in game week 16 and then wild card game week 17. But you probably still have your free it. So I would probably say sooner rather than later. I think you can get a quality team now, use it for the next few weeks. And I think it could be quite interesting. What you couldn't do is also use it next week when Liverpool's fixtures change, if you want to take a punt on Salah before he goes to AFCON. So if your team looks good this week, if next week you like the fixture swings, then I'd probably say sooner rather than later though. Start Burn or Senesi or Truffert. So between Senesi and Truffert, it's pretty close because obviously they both play for the same teams. I can kind of give you some projected points on them if you want. Let's just go top. So you want Senesi versus Truffert versus Burn. Yeah, so it's probably Senesi because of the DEFCON. That's what I'd say. I'd say in terms of clean sheet, we'll get onto this. So if I do sort of evade the question and say we're going to talk about the clean sheet odds later, then just wait a little bit. I think with these very tight debates about who to start for benching order, I think the clean sheet odds and projected goals will be quite handy. Start Virgil van Dijk or VDV. Well, Paulie, if you still have VDV, you're probably hoping for some attacking threat there because that seems like where he's at the moment. It's a tight one for me. I might just say, because you're captaining Haaland, you probably hope he scores, unless, Paulie, you're not. So if you're not going for the Haaland captain, I would go for Virgil. But otherwise, I think you would just go for Van der Ven and just hope that he gets some sort of attacking threat. Are you supporting Liverpool? Killshot, I didn't mention this on my Discord server last night, but I'm still backing Haaland. I think Liverpool wins 7-6 and Haaland scores 6 goals. That'll probably be the best situation. It's not that I'm not confident in Liverpool. I just feel like Man City will score. And because Haaland's goal share is so high, he probably will be involved in it. So I think Liverpool, I'm still pretty confident in us potentially getting a result. I still feel like Haaland scores though. But if you guys doing a differential, I think this is probably a week to potentially look at it. But because it is at the Etihad, his form at home has just been too good. And Man City at home just seemed like a little slightly better team. You would expect that, but definitely away from home they've struggled sometimes. Whereas I think at home they've been pretty convincing performances. Vincent, with your question saying A is to roll and play Welbeck, or B, use your transfer on Reinders to Saar and play Saar. No, I'll just go A. I just play Welbeck. I don't think there's some slight risk with Saar as well, but with that kind of very, very small tightness in his hamstring quote. So I would just play Danny Welbeck. How do you know when prices will change, Harry? So a good question there. Let me go on to that for you. So let me just bring up the website I use, and you guys should probably use this website as well. So I'm not affiliated with any FPL websites, so you guys can trust my advice. I'm not getting paid to do this. Let me just see if you guys can see. So basically, you guys can kind of see it. Let me actually just maybe crop it to this side so I can bring up the names of the players. Okay, it's a bit annoying. I'm gonna make do with what I have here. The website. Okay, let me actually maybe just zoom out. Okay, no, it's a bit. I'm just gonna zoom in. Unfortunately, there's an ad. Okay, let's just do this. Let me just go here. Okay, you guys can kind of see this. Okay, it's not great. It's not great. I do apologize for that. Okay, no, this makes it even worse. Okay, but actually, let me see if there's the... Okay, I'll just kind of try and cover this. Okay, so let me give you guys the website. So this is the website I use for prices. So basically what you can see, I know you guys can't really see it, but just imagine that you can, okay, let's just take, you can see that, you can see Cherky there. Maybe there's someone like Timber. Okay, so let's talk about Timber. So what you guys can kind of see is Timber, he plays for Arsenal there, and then you have these bars. It says progress now, and then it has prediction. And if your prediction goes above 100, it means that they're going to rise in price. And the same for the drop. So if they go negative 100, it means they're going to drop in price. But all you guys have to do is if you scroll a little bit down, you won't see this, but on the left, if I just scroll a little bit up, you can see at the bottom there, it says already reached target. And then there'll be a few kind of pictures there, or it's projected to reach target. And then there's a few people there. So for example, tonight, it looks like Ndai, Thiago, James, Rice, Timber, Cherky, and Haaland are going to rise in price. And then there's a few other kind of that it says they may rise in price, that sort of thing. But all you guys have to do is every day, you can just go down, check this. It gives you price rises and price falls. My head is just over the price falls if I dodge a bit there. So you guys need to go check out this website. It's been pretty accurate. Out of all the predictions, it's the most accurate that we have. So I definitely recommend going and checking it out, and that's what I use for my kind of price changes. So hopefully that was somewhat useful. Let me just get back to the actual team here. Okay, cool. So yeah, just go check it out if you guys want to. How many points is a good bench boost? So Sudesh, this is a very good question because I think it has changed with the introduction of DEFCON. I always say 15 points is a good bench boost. I still feel like 15 points is probably your mark. I'd say I'd be happy with 15, but I think if you can get like 20, that's a good bench boost then. But I think 15 is like a decent one. That's what I would still try and aim for. With the bench boost today, I don't know. I'm hoping Ndai maybe gets some attacking threat. And then Senesi Rodon, if they can get some DEFCON points, that's maybe 4 points each. Dubravka, like I think 15 is a good mark to be like, if we get that, that's okay. Bench boost looking good, hopefully. JDM saying, is Mateta a good captain? He's a fine captain. If you want to go over like projected points and that sort of thing. Haaland is currently top, Saka's second, Enzo's third, and then we've got Bruno. So Mateta's on par with Gabriel in terms of projected points, but who knows? Maybe it's a good performance. I think I'm expecting a few goals there. But I don't think in my like top 3 he might be there. I think I probably would go Saka if you have him instead. I think he's quite interesting. I think probably I would put Mateta 3 or 4 in terms of my list. Do I take Struck out from -4 Ropefly? I don't think so. Most of the projected lineups I've seen for Leeds have Struck starting. So I was actually tempted to maybe even just keep him. But I thought that Sarr is the highest ceiling, definitely. What changes are today? So probably no changes today. I made my changes last night, and that was Goiker out as well as Struck, and I brought in Sarr and João Pedro. Doing the pricing is even more fluctuating this year. The price changes are forcing out transfers. I don't think anywhere different from last year. I don't know, maybe there's been more activity, but I mean, it's always a bit hectic towards the beginning of the season because you have more active managers taking players out more. There's more volatility there. But yeah, I don't really think I've seen anything that's been that different. Start Voltemade or Semenyo? Probably Voltemade, because isn't he on penalty? No, is he on penalties for Newcastle? Should be. I mean, Gordon's out injured potentially. Bench Ndai or Sarr? That is a tough one, as I would try and play both of them. But if you really on like a debate about the two of them, then Sar's slightly higher on the projections. But I don't know if it might be because of expected minutes. I think it has to do with expected minutes. So I would probably say they're quite close. In Dia's penalties, that could be an advantage. But as mentioned, like, can you not try and start both of them? Otherwise, bench boost, if you can. JDM Holland always struggles against Virgil van Dijk and Konate. Liverpool gaining back confidence. So yeah, 100% they are. I feel like Holland is on good form, though. If there was a standout option in my team, and that's why I think it might be tempting if I did have a Saka in my squad, I think then I would be tempted, because in my specific lineup, I'm not confident in captaining Chelsea players. Mateta's okay, but I mean, it's not the best fixture. So that's why I'm still on Haaland. I feel like there's potential. There could always be a penalty, that sort of thing. So I'm fine with it, but I do agree that if I had someone different, maybe like a Saka, I would be more tempted to go down that route. No worries, Ropefly. Thanks for the question. FPL Hits is saying, how's it, Davey? Would you suggest Gyökeres struck out for Gayu plus Mbeumo/Enzo? Already paid the bench boost. Got in Dai, Sauce, Menu in midfield. Yeah, so I like that. If I had used my bench boost already, I probably would go Mark Gayu, and then I would have tried to get Saka, or in your case, an Mbeumo Enzo. Between Mbeumo and Enzo, I think that's quite interesting. Who are you sort of leaning towards, FPL Hits? Because, I mean, Mbeumo is more expensive, but projections probably maybe a little bit higher for Mbeumo. Yeah, so Mbeumo's higher than Enzo, but I mean, you would expect that because he's more expensive. Also, CFC saying, I got ahead off early. Am I good to activate the bench boost now? Yeah, I think you're fine. Look, there could be some freak news that comes up, like an asteroid's hit the UK and all the games are cancelled. But I mean, between now and then, probably no news is going to arise. So I think you should be fine. And I mean, you might be in the situation like I was a few weeks ago, where it would have been better off if I headed off early and didn't see the struck news, because I would have just bench boosted then. And you guys know what happened. Fun Defend got like 23 points. So you should be fine though, CFC. Play one of Senesi, Gordon, or Gakpo. I would play Gakpo because of potential, Adam. I feel like Gakpo plays against City, so. Can't afford Pedro. Any suggestions? So JDM, just remind me here. Are you doing both transfers? Because if you're doing both, you can still go João Pedro, just go Minter instead of Sarr. But if you are only going for João Pedro, then I think Thiago or Welbeck. Maybe Thiago, though. Leaning towards Mbeumo. Okay, it's interesting. Are you a United fan, Rahit? Play one of Senesi. Okay, so Adam, I think I answered that. Would I captain Saka if I had him? I still feel like I would captain Haaland, but I don't know if that's me just being biased because I don't have Saka in my team. So it's easier for me to say I would have gone for it because I don't have him in my squad, if you get what I'm saying. I think I would be tempted, though. I think you have to decide for yourself what's your expectation for that Liverpool-Man City game, because that gives a bit more backing towards your decision. If you think it's going to be boring, then I would go Saka. But if you think there's going to be a ton of goals in it, then I think Haaland's still a good option. Roberto, we are bench boosting. Cameron, same team except I Fun Defend and Stach. So do you have any transfers, Cameron? Or are you on the exact same team as me after the moves have been made? Harry's saying, how's it tuning in from Sweden today? I'm 0.3 off affording Sarr. What do you think I should do? I think you should go for Minter. He's 0.6 cheaper. So Harry, you'll be able to afford him and therefore have some relief in Sweden today. Hopefully the weather's looking pretty good there. Minter or Caicedo, I already have Enzo. I'll probably go Minter, Ryan. Start two of Senesi, Richards, and Rodon. I'd go for Senesi and Richards. What's your aim for rank, ideally? Adam, it's tough for me to say because in this season's unlike any other season. We actually do have double chips, so it's hard for me to know where I am because a lot of people have already used their bench boost and their triple captain. So let me just assess maybe halfway through the season, then at least everyone's on an even playing field. Because at the moment, I don't know. If the bench boost sucks and the triple captain's a disaster, we might be looking at a terrible rank. But if the bench boost is good, triple captain's good, and we're suddenly looking at like 1 million, maybe within the top mill by the end of the year, we could be looking at a better rank. So it is tough for me to say, and I'll probably tell you halfway through the season. Start Senesi or Tarkowski? I probably would go Tarkowski then, Vincent. Yeah, it is Harry, but I guess he is semi-what explosive. Like, I don't think we can say that Saka's never going to score again, you know. So as long as you captain him in the week that he does score, he's looking okay. I'll finalize the team as of now, Shavat. What's your plan after the international break? Any plans to bring in? So my plan at the moment is to probably not make a transfer and then potentially free it in Game Week 13. Because we've got a lot of Arsenal assets, a lot of Chelsea assets now. Maybe potentially free it in Game Week 13 to avoid that fixture. And then after that, we're potentially looking to bring Saka in because he might be a Captaincy option later in the year. Enzo or Ndai, who to start? I probably would go Enzo because of the fixture. Mars, I am bench boosting at the moment. Yes, it is active. I only have 5.4 to remove Strach. Who can I replace him with? So either Dewsbury Hall or Anderson from Nottingham Forest. Those are my two favorites at that cheaper price tag. Because all you basically want there is a player that's going to start and has the threat for some points. Anderson has threat for Defcon and potential attacking, so that's why he's my favorite. Whereas Dewsbury Hall, potential attacking threat. Raz is saying, morning, Thiago and Sarr or Pedro and Minter. I would go for Pedro and Minter. I think these fixtures are too good to not punt on for Pedro. I know he might be terrible, might not be the best asset, but maybe these fixtures are the catalyst for a revival, let's just say that. Which teams do you think are the best for long-term assets? Ryan, I do like Arsenal, obviously. I think Crystal Palace also looking pretty good. I think Bournemouth assets because the fixtures turn next week. And then Liverpool. If you can get a nailed Liverpool player, they should be strong. But the problem is who's nailed for them. Szoboszlai should be. Salah, but I don't think you'll go Salah. And Van Dijk. I mean, that's the only problem with them is like they're not obvious sort of FPL picks. Given James's risk not playing, would you start Chimpong or start Minter and have Chimpong first sub? I'd probably just start Minter for the attacking threat. Are you bench boost? Yes, I am. It will, Shia, and that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that it has more goals in it because I've got João Pedro and Enzo. So I am hoping for it, but I still feel like from a Captaincy point of view, Haaland might be safer. Thanks, Harry. Enjoy Sweden, brother. Hopefully it's a good one. Do you think Liverpool will play Gakpo tonight? It's tomorrow night, Angelo, but I think they will. I think we'll see the same lineup we saw against Aston Villa. So it's going to be Gakpo, Ekitike, Salah, and then you have your midfield of Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, as well as McAllister. In the back four, we might see, I don't know if Robertson will start this one because he's played quite a few games, but he should. Then that back four kind of picks itself, and then we have obviously the non-Allison goalkeeper. What's your take on Marino? He's fine. I think it's like a 1 game week punt potentially. He would be nice on like a free it. I don't know if I would bring him in, but that doesn't mean that he won't do well this week. It's just if you have Goycrez back, Goycrez back, Havertz back, potential other players returning from injury, there might be some rotation there. So for like 1 week, he's fine, but I don't think he's great for the medium term. Enzo or Reinders? Enzo, easy, Omar. That's a pretty easy one for me. Start one of Rodon, Senesi. Okay, so let's actually go on the projected clean sheets because a lot of these questions are coming in. And with about 31 minutes to go, we can go and assess. So as always, these are from the ever reliable Rob T FPL. Name is at the top left there. These are from this morning. So we go over these exact same numbers in the Ultimate Guide, but obviously I released that on Wednesday. So these are the more up-to-date numbers. We've had some slight fluctuations here. We've got Man City now dropping to 1.98, but they were like 2.00, so not that much. But there's been a few drops and a few gains. So if we do look at the fixtures, we've seen Chelsea at the top there at 2.17. Also pretty healthy clean sheet chance, 42%. Arsenal as expected. Clean sheet, I don't know. I don't want to say you can almost lock it in, but you can almost lock it in because 51% is pretty high. Also have good chances for Everton, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa dropping down a bit there, but have some boring games. Forest, Leeds looks pretty boring. Everton, Fulham looks pretty boring. More exciting games, obviously Liverpool, Man City. Crystal Palace, Brighton also should have a few goals in it, but I'm going to answer the questions with these stats now because I feel like there's a lot of close debates to have, and I feel like the clean sheet odds will give you that clarification. Harsh saying, please suggest, should I take a -4 and get Alderete out for Gay and bench boost? I have Goodmanson, Senesi, and Jacques on the bench. Okay, so Jacques is Arsenal, not that great. Goodmanson's okay. You probably have Dubravka. It's a fine bench boost. It's an okay bench boost. For a -4 though, I don't think I would do it. I think I would just wait, Harsh, for a better fixture. That's what I'd probably say. Okay, so bench, Rodon, Senesi, or Burn. Okay, so let's just exclude sort of your DEFCON points for a second. So Newcastle, their projection's 28%. We have Senesi, who is on 23%. And then we have Rodon, who is on 26%. So out of these odds, it does look like Burn would be the better option. Obviously, Senesi does have the DEFCON threat, but I think I would play Dan Burn over them. So hopefully that answers that one. We do have a super chat from Fabro. He's saying bench boost 11 with Dubravka, Anderson, Senesi, DCL, or bench boost 12 with Dubravka, Richards, Paqueta, and DCL. DCL yellow flagged worry. Wanna sell 12. Could do DCL to Thiago. Can you do DCL to Thiago this week, Fabro? Can you do that? Just let me know. If you can do that, I would do that move this week and then bench boost. If DCL's a yellow flag, then why not just move it to this week and then play Thiago rather? So yeah, if you could do that, I would just bench boost this week then with that move. Thank you for the super chat though. Just let me know if I haven't answered your question. Vincent, I'm also surprised the XG for Crystal Palace is so low because I think this game is going to be quite an open one. Who knows though, I guess. But it does look like both teams sort of projected to score, let's say. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of plays out. Let me go and check if there are any other questions that I can see here. Okay, Rodon, Senesi, Anderson. So let's look at Anderson's projections, 27%. Senesi's is 23%. So Anderson looks good, and I probably would play Anderson because of the DEFCON threat anyways. I know he didn't get last week, but he has been getting quite frequently. Exact money for Thiago this week. Only worry is that I then don't have money in the bank, for example, upgrade Paqueta in the near future. That's okay, Fabro, because you can always just bench him and he is quite cheap. So I think I would do that move. If you like Thiago, I think Thiago, I mean, you could always do Danny Welbeck, but I don't know. Yeah, so you have to go Thiago, he's cheaper. I think I would do that. And Newcastle haven't been like playing the best football at the moment, so there's always a chance. And then you have to worry, because of usual bench boosts, you can always just bench Thiago, for example, downgrade him if you need to. Gaz saying, should I start Richards or Senesi? So this is purely going to be a clean sheet odds debate, because Richards offers a DEFCON threat, so does Senesi. Clean sheet odds higher for Crystal Palace, I would go for Richards. It just makes the decision a bit more objective, you know, Gaz. Okay, forgot to mention, we'll free at Game Week 13, but are you super locked into that, Fabro? Because you could always postpone it till late in the season if need be. And if you're going to be buying Thiago, maybe, as you said, it limits his appeal. But I think I would still do that. I still feel like I would do the Thiago move, even if you want to free it. I don't think it will change too much. Who knows? Maybe he gets injured in Game Week 13, that sort of thing. Play Senesi or Reinders. Okay, so this is tough. I think it all depends on if you think Reinders starts. If you think Reinders starts, I probably would play him over. But if you think he doesn't, which there might be a chance of, you play Senesi. But Senesi's like probably a pretty low ceiling play this week. I don't know if they will be keeping a clean sheet. So it might be like a 1-pointer versus a 3-pointer, that sort of thing. So I probably would just play Reinders for the sake of, if he starts, he might get an attacking return. That's what I probably would say. Abishleck saying bench 2. Saar, Rice, Enzo, Thiago, Senesi. So definitely Senesi. Definitely Senesi, and out of those options, I mean, maybe Thiago, but it's probably Thiago because of the Newcastle game. But I would preferably try and play all 4 of the first ones. Benching Senesi is an easy one for me. Thoughts on Saka as a differential captain? I do like him. I think I would be tempted if I had him in my team. Bench one between Reinders, Krippy Jr., Rodon. Thanks. Bench one between them. I probably would bench Krippy Jr. I mean, isn't there's quite a big risk of him potentially being benched, isn't there? Why are people benching now and not waiting for the double game week? So Morton, I don't think there's going to be a double anymore because they've come out and said that Crystal Palace will be playing all 4 of their games in 8 days. They have asked for one game to be moved. That doesn't have any impact though on FPL. I think it's just moving it from like a Tuesday to a Monday or a Wednesday to a Monday or something like that. So that won't affect the game weeks. So there's probably not going to be any doubles or blanks now. And we should have probably known by now if they were going to be, I think. Gabriel captain over Haaland, your thoughts? I think if it was a home fixture, maybe potentially. The away game does worry me, and also Sunderland aren't the worst team in the world. I know their projections here you can see are not great, but I don't know. I think if it was a home game, maybe slightly more, but maybe the Sunderland fans can rile them up. When will you be getting Saka? Maybe around game week 14, 15, around then. Thoughts on Caicedo over Minter and Murphy? I like Minter out of all of those. Caicedo's okay, he's fine. I'm always, though, like going to be on the more pessimistic side and say, I don't know how he's going to sustain all these long shots. Surely they come down, but maybe he continues. Who are we captaining? I'm captaining Haaland at the moment. And you guys can see from projections, 1.98 is pretty healthy. As mentioned, out of that 1.98, Haaland probably gets like 90%, 80% of that goal share. So still looking to do quite well. Going to free at 13, potentially, Vincent. I'm potentially looking at game week 13's penciled in or game week 16. Almost the weeks where either Arsenal, Chelsea or game week 16 is when Haaland has a bit of a tougher game. So you might want to go for another captain. Bruno or Mbumo for Friet. I mean, I'm gonna stan Bruno instead of Mbumo, but and like the projected points also tell you quite a bit. So I think Bruno, but what people have been saying is that if you look at the Spurs game, it might be quite open, and therefore Mbumo might be the better one to potentially look at. Okay, if you guys have had enough of the clean sheet odds, we can go back to the team. I think I'll join back to it if you guys need it, but I think let's go back to the team because we're getting a few questions about the team. Have I seen any of the new FIFA shirts? I have briefly, but I haven't taken a deep enough look to say I really want a specific one. Yes, I will bench boost. We have 22 minutes left. Let me go check Twitter quickly just to see if we've got anything. Also want to say that we do have a poll. And I won't lie to you, I was quite surprised by the poll. So 33% of you aren't captaining Erling Haaland. Okay, I want some clarity on this then. Okay, so let's go and ask a new poll. Okay, you guys can vote on this new poll because I honestly, I didn't think there was going to be 67% of you only captaining Haaland. So vote on this poll. Yes, Rob, bro, it's going to be a hectic week. Kingsley saying, think about dumping Gyökeres and Gakpo. Who would you replace him with? So Gakpo is interesting because Liverpool's fixtures change next week. So you could just keep Gakpo, but I think if you definitely want to take out both of them, I mean, I'm a fan of João Pedro for the next few, but I don't think many people are. So maybe what I would do is if you're thinking about dropping both of them, I would go Gakpo to Saka and then Gyökeres to whoever you can afford. I don't exactly know your team structure, Kingsley, but if you only need a cheap option, then just go for Mark Guéhiou and then you can do another upgrade next week. Royal Lim, I don't exactly know what you're talking about there. Sorry. Why Gabriel Weiss? Out of my team, he's probably the most confident I am in a vice captain, but I could go for someone else. Who do you think my vice captain should be? Why don't you go Delap instead of Pedro? I don't think Delap's super nailed. That's my only concern with him, coming back from injury. What to do with Volta Mada? I would just keep him. Unless you don't have Mateta. If you don't have Mateta, then I would try to get Mateta. Wolves are shocking. Yeah, I potentially... You guys can let me know. So do you think Enzo? Do you think Enzo should be on vice captain? Okay, let me just go and check here to see any early team sheet leaks. Okay, I don't see anything at the moment. Yeah, I don't see any team sheet leaks as of now. Yeah, so there's been nothing. Vice captain should be Pedro. Vice captain should be Enzo. Yeah, I know he was suspended. But surely he was injured before the suspension. He hasn't been suspended for like that long. Because he wasn't playing for a while. Are you saying though like he's come back from injury was a while ago? Because yeah, he hasn't played since game week 4. Let me just check. Okay, we can put the vice captain on Enzo if you guys want it. The one question I wanted to ask you guys about is, do you think this bench is accurate? This bench. So let's say I didn't bench boost. Would this be the bench I had without the bench boost? I want to make it so that it's the most accurate bench as possible. So let me know if you guys agree with me. Kunal saying 7.4 midfielder. Let me just go check who actually is 7.4. So what did you say? I'm just going to say 7.5. Okay, so like, I mean, your options are pretty much the same as mine. So it was like Declan Rice, Soboslai. You can get Enzo if you don't have Enzo. It's an Ismaila Sarr. Kind of whoever you don't own out of those. I would say Enzo is probably the priority if you don't have him. Then I would probably say Sarr. Minter's also there. And then Declan Rice, Soboslai. Please bench Sarr, Mateta, Senesi for the right stripes pattern. I mean, I could do that, but I don't know. I agree with Vincent. Should I go for the stripes? What year did you start streaming? Bro, I started streaming a while ago. I don't think I streamed when I started my channel, but I've been doing this channel for quite a while. It's been a few years. Bruno Gio and Dai. I like Ndai just because there's more avenues for points. So what you guys are saying is that I should go for... Mateta on the bench. And then Sarr on the bench. For all stripes. Or I could go Semenyo, I guess. Semenyo bench because he's always gotten points on when I benched him. But I always want to make the bench as accurate as possible. That's the only problem I have. So let's just say, okay, without the stripes and everything, would this be the bench that... I remember watching your videos. I don't think it's been 10, 11 years. I think it's been more along the line. I think it's been more, maybe like 5+ years. Marcus is saying, I've got 2 million in the bank, same team as yours, but I used the bench boost earlier. So I don't want to transfer Struck to Saar. Who would you upgrade with no bench boost and 2 mil? So Marcus, can you go... Like, do you have 2 more mil than me with this exact same team? That's crazy. Or you're talking about the starting 11. So if you had 2 more, I would have tried to do Goikrez down to a cheap option and then Struck up to Saka. Yeah, but Marcus, just give me a bit more clarity, because like you've said that you don't want to do Struck to Saar, but then you want to do an upgrade. So like I don't know what you're talking about. So just give maybe just post your team and then give me the full context, like how many transfers you have and that sort of thing. Should the real bench be Saar instead of Ndai? It might. So I mean, you guys can tell me. Do you think that Saar's a better option than Ndai this week, or do you think it's vice versa? I've just gone on this purely from projected points. And in projected points, Ndai was below Saar. Thanks, Philippe. Appreciate you stopping by. What's the thought behind the Haaland captain? Don't want to fall behind if he bangs. No, just because the rest of my team, I don't really feel like there's another captain. If I had a Saka, I might go Saka. But I can't trust Chelsea. I can't trust Mateta's. Mateta's good, but I don't know if he's Captaincy material. And then also United with Bruno. So, I don't know. I am playing the bench boost, Pedro. I keep the bench. I think the bench is... I think this is probably as what I would have done. It's tough to say because I think if I didn't bench boost, the transfers might have been slightly different. But with what I have, this looks like what it should be. Rodon or Keane bench? I'd bench Rodon. Connor? Just trying to see if I missed anything. Ryan, which player do you think could potentially be a must-own in the future? I think Mateta's a must-own, potentially. I think Saka could, if he looks good. I think Saka could be a must-own. Otherwise, maybe one of the Liverpool assets, maybe like a Van Dijk. Anderson or Senesi? I think Anderson has higher projections. Yeah, I'd go Anderson probably over Senesi. Why the bench boost this week? Well, don't you think I should bench boost? Like, I think the bench looks pretty good. I think this is like the best I'm probably going to get it. I know game week 18 is a good week, but I don't think I can wait that long. There might be a few more concerns arising before game week 18 to bench boost then. But, well, let me know. If you think I should bench boost, then I can second guess it. Thoughts behind Haaland over, considering it's almost locked. It's not always locked, but it should be. I don't know. I just feel like Haaland might have a higher ceiling, and he's in good form. I think Haaland's like in the form of his life, potentially. No, I haven't, Vincent. Liverpool clean sheet, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Man City next. Omar, I mean, I'm hoping for, like, at the end of the day, as a Liverpool fan, if Haaland doesn't score and we win, I'll be happy. But I still feel like he's like a sensible captain. I don't think he's like a no-brainer not to captain. Please confirm. Yes, I am bench boosting. I've got it active. You can see it. I know it might be light on the stream, but that like little blue overlay means that the bench boost is active. Is João Pedro a viable captain? This is the talk I like to hear. Yes, he definitely is a viable captain, but probably not for super sensible FPL managers. I like it. I like the thinking because it means he's going to do well, but I probably wouldn't stretch that to captaincy. I think it's differential enough just owning João Pedro at the moment. What do you think about Rice? I like Rice. Comes in different variants, white rice, brown rice, but not Declan Rice. He's fine. I think the reason I didn't go there is if I want to go for Saka potentially in the future, I mean, I could go for Rice to Saka, but I think he's fine. I think it's if you think he'll keep up. I think I would rather go for Declan Rice over like a Caicedo. I think that he's more sustainable with those set pieces than Caicedo is, but I don't know. How about a little check in the near future? I'm always risky when I look at Man City midfielders. Would you bench boost Dubravka, Senesi, Virgil, and Anthony? So Anthony, they have West Ham. That's an okay game. I probably would, Dan. Thanks, Vian. I appreciate it. Yes, always captain him versus us to win the game. Because the sacrifice. Okay, so Marv, you captaining him though. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe you can take the sacrifice. But I mean, you're doing good work there. I mean, I'm fine with, as I said, if Haaland blanks and Liverpool win. But like as I mentioned, I don't think it's like no brainer not to captain Haaland this week. I mean, the projections are telling you that he's good. The odds are telling you that Man City probably score. We'll see. If only bench boost was last week. So no, not last week. The week before. If you guys don't know, the week before. So the week before was actually last week was like terrible. Like it was 2-1, 3-1. Like that's okay. Previous week though, 13 points, 23 points, and then Struch, this guy at the end that doesn't play. But yeah, so obviously this week would have been better. So basically what this is saying is that the bench boost this week has to outperform a bench boost of a massive 38 points. Hopefully the math is mathing on that one. But yeah, so a massive 38 points this bench boost has to outperform. Probably not going to happen, let's be real. But I mean, maybe what? An Ndai, Hattie, a Dubravka triple penalty save, then we should be in business. I don't think that's too out of reach. Hopefully Philippe, I mean, those ranks are looking good, but I think it's going to take quite a lot of work to get there. Quite a lot of luck as well. Are you bench boosting Jag? I am. I realize maybe the bench boost is not that clear. That's what I'm kind of seeing. I think they should have given like a complete background. I'll even refresh just for you guys to see that the team is locked in. There, the bench boost is there. There's no save your team button at the bottom here. It's already been clicked. Gotta love FPL. Yeah, well, you have to love FPL. What score would you be realistic at? I think maybe like 15 points. If I get 15 points, I think it'll be pretty good. Jag, thank you for the reminder. Jag Singh, thank you for the reminder about posting the team. Let me post it to Discord as well as YouTube, as we do have just under 8 minutes to go. There we go. Sorry, guys. I'll get back to the questions. We'll do some quick fire rounds. How's it, Secure? Hopefully doing well, brother. Okay, cool. So the team has been posted. Still have Van der Ven. Should I take him out for Anderson? I mean, this week is probably a pretty good week to do it. What's your opinion of having attacking assets playing against your defensive ones? For example, Ndai against Anderson this week. So I thought, Ryan, previously I thought this was terrible, but then when I didn't bench boost, it turned out to be pretty well. So I don't know, maybe Ndai, if he does score, maybe Anderson still gets some DEFCON, that sort of thing. I'm okay with that. JP vice captain, please. Kill shot. I'm just going to keep it on Enzo for penalties. Turang has been a legend for 38 months. More than 3 years. Absolutely insane. Just says, hi Davey, only got into the stream to say hi and lots of love. I'm in Phuket for my bachelor's trip. Lots of love to you, FPL King. Thank you, Turang. Enjoy the bachelor trip and congrats on the engagement. Hopefully the wedding is going to be an absolute banger. I'm just hoping that some green arrows make your bachelor trip even better. So thank you for the renewal of your legend membership. Absolutely insane as mentioned. Adam, make my decision for me. Saka or Haaland for captain needs someone to blame. So Adam, it sounds like you're already looking for a reason to captain Saka. So I will tell you to captain Saka so that you can blame me. I'll do that for you, brother. So Adam, go for Saka then. Love from New Zealand, Davey, the FPL GOAT Cash. I'm guessing that actually this is a reasonable deadline stream time for you. So happy about that. So thanks for the love from New Zealand. Do appreciate it. Who are the players you fear most not owning that could hurt your rank? Munoz, Saka. Those two I worry about. I mean, Omar, so the problem was that Van der Ven went and backed it up with that insane solo goal. So he's on great form at the moment. Saka versus Saar, who's better? I probably would say Saka, but he's so much more expensive. I don't even know if it's a debate. Would you bench boost with Gayu on the bench? Probably not, Adam. I don't think I would stretch that far. Will Akyempong 3.9 Chelsea play or for Fanta take his place? Fanta, I have no idea. However, I can go check quickly for you. I can go check something quickly. Give me a second over on Twitter. Yeah, so this has Fofana starting. Let me just get to the Chelsea one. Okay, Chelsea, Akyempong. So no, Akyempong looks like he's going to be benched. I don't think I would go for him. Most of the projections are saying no. Okay, I don't see any early team sheet news. Nothing at the moment. Yeah, I don't see any no early team sheet news. I don't see anything. Okay. Any other questions? Disgusting defender. Goika's Rangers to Saka and Gayu from -4. I think you probably, especially if you want to captain Saka, then yes, it is tough from -4 because it's a bench player. So you're basically taking out a player, but I think it should be okay. I mean, you want Saka long term, so that is fine. Bench boost with Dubravka, Anderson, and Goodmanson. Yeah, that's okay. I'd bench boost that, my hair. Is Vortamada, VDV, and Rodon a good bench boost? It's a fine bench boost. I probably would bench boost that though. What's the transfer plan for the next couple of weeks? Well, it's probably rolling a transfer next week, then maybe free at game week 13, and then we'll make a plan for Saka if he's looking good, and we need to bring him in for Captaincy in those weeks where Haaland might struggle. Would you do stuck to Saar with no bench boost, or rather roll with 2 mil in the bank and Pedro? I just roll with 2 mil in the bank and Pedro, Marcus. Enzo or Saar? Enzo. Especially this week when there are some doubts about Saar's fitness. I have Guardiola. Should I keep? You can keep him, but I don't know if you play him. I think if you don't have Munoz, I think it's an easy transfer Guardiola to Munoz though this week. Dubravka, Rodon, Senesi, and Gayu bench boost. Adam, that Gayu, I don't like bench boosting a player that I don't think will start. So, I mean, I did this with Stach, and the bench boost banged. So I don't know. I feel like I'm crazy for not captaining Saka against Sunderland. Surely we have more respect. I think we have respect now, Jordan, because they're playing better. But I still feel like Man City will score. I do think though, if I had Saka in my team, I would be tempted to captain him. Let's just say that. Like, maybe as a Liverpool fan, I'm different, but yeah, I think if I had Saka in my team, I would look at it. I just couldn't get him with the bench boost, basically. So that's why I avoided him. I'm just hoping the bench boost kind of comes in clutch. You're probably saying best for defender. It's literally, I'd go one of the Leeds assets or the Sunderland assets. So Mukiele, but he's risen in price. I mean, you already have an Alderete. You could go for a Rodon, Goodmanson. Those are what I probably would say. Going for a football game after the stream? No, I don't, Vincent. I don't think I will be going for a football game after. John, bench boost question above twice. Okay, bench boost. Dubravka, Senesi, Konza, and Strand Larsen. Yes or no? Okay. No. My initial reaction was no, John. Endo captain. Are you saying Enzo captain or Endo from Liverpool? I would say captain Endo from Liverpool. Yeah, it's just the fact that like I feel like Haaland can score against anyone. Like that's my opinion. As much as Liverpool been defending well, if it was Real Madrid, if it was Barcelona, if it was Bayern Munich, I still feel like Haaland could have scored. So that's why I'm kind of fine with captaining. Sanchez is good this week, yeah, but just because Wolves are terrible. So like, I think anyone would look good against Wolves. So I think Sanchez is fine. Make sure that bench boost button is on. It is on. It's active there at the top there. So you don't have to worry. Can't have another 20 points. Well, at least we will have 20 points then. I'm glad you have faith in the bench. Actually, let me get... And there we go. So we can have the new emote because it is officially, we don't even have to type it out anymore. TUPD. Vincent, nice emote. I'm glad that you're contributing. Thanks, Jack. So time up, pens down. If you know, you know. That's going to end our sort of deadline for Game Week 11. Could be an absolutely insane game week with the bench boost active. I'm just hoping for a few points here because that'll look pretty good. Potential game changer. Let's just hope that it will be. And I'm just hoping for a nice little green arrow come game week 12. There is an international break, so what I probably will do is maybe like a transfer plan on Monday, but don't exactly know. I don't have any transfers planned, but let's just hope that the green arrow is in our favor, as I always say, and it's going to be a massive game week. Thanks for joining the deadline stream. Always do appreciate you guys' support, and I'll see you guys for that game week 12 content. But for the time being, I'm just signing off. It's been Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.